Picture a child, 8 years old, maybe 10, barefoot, carrying a torch through a pitch-black cave in southern France 26,000 years ago. The walls around them are covered in paintings of lions, rhinos, mammoths. Bear skulls have been placed deliberately at the back, and walking right alongside this child, matching them step for step through the dark, is a large dog. We know this because their footprints are still there, frozen in clay. A child and a dog exploring a cave together 26,000 years before you were born. And here's the thing nobody tells you. That dog shouldn't exist. Wolves, the animal every single dog on Earth descended from, were enormous Ice Age predators, competitors for the same prey, potentially dangerous to any human who wandered too far from the group. There was no obvious reason for any prehistoric person to look at a wolf and think, I want to bring that home. So how did we get from that to this? How did the most feared predator in the prehistoric world become the creature sleeping at the foot of your bed? The answer is stranger than you think, and it starts not with humans at all. The leading scientific theory today is called self-domestication, and it flips the entire story on its head. According to researchers like Brian Hare at Duke University, we didn't domesticate dogs. Dogs domesticated themselves. The idea is this: some wolves, not all of them, just a few, were less afraid of humans than the others, less aggressive, more tolerant. And those wolves discovered something useful. Human campsites produced garbage, leftover meat, discarded scraps. A wolf bold enough to creep close to a human fire had access to food it didn't have to hunt for. Over thousands of generations, the wolves that were friendliest to humans survived better, bred more, and gradually became something new, something smaller, something that could read a human's face, something that eventually a child might walk beside through a dark cave without either of them being afraid. But the moment the relationship stopped being purely practical, that's when it gets genuinely moving. 14,000 years ago, near what is now Bonn, Germany, two people were buried together, a man and a woman, and placed with them in the grave, covered in red pigment, surrounded by grave goods, was a dog. Not just any dog, a puppy, about 7 months old. And when researchers re-examined these bones in 2018, they found something extraordinary. Between the ages of 19 and 23 weeks, this puppy suffered 3 separate bouts of canine distemper, a disease so severe that survival without intensive human care would have been nearly impossible, which means someone nursed a sick, dying puppy back to health 3 times. 14,000 years ago. Not because it was useful, not because it could hunt or guard, just because they didn't want it to die. That puppy was then buried with the people who saved it. 2,000 years before that, at a site called Ain Mallaha in northern Israel, archaeologists found the skeleton of an elderly woman. Her hand was resting on a puppy. That is how she chose to be buried. Hand on her dog. Across every culture, across every continent, the archaeological record tells the same story. Humans and animals buried together, cared together, mourned together, not because it was practical, because somewhere deep in our evolutionary history, we developed something that no other species quite has in the same way: the need to bring another creature into our lives and call it ours. The wolves chose to come closer, and we chose to let them stay.